This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Hello, hi there, ho there.
Whoa.
Welcome to
Hello.
Blah, King of the Hill podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
And Rusty, we have a guest.
AJ.
Hey, Jay.
Otherwise known as Evil Ringo.
Hey,
He's
howdy,
also-
y'all.
He's also a local wizard.
Oh, yeah.
It says right there. Is that in like consolidation or not consolidation? I don't even know what word I'm looking for. But is that because of today's episode?
This episode is actually, this shirt's the reason I wanted to be on this episode because it's about wizards and I am local.
Yeah. Are you a wizard?
In some circles.
What does that mean?
My buddies used to call me a wizard because I was a wizard with the streaming setups and Twitch and live streaming.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
All right. That's
Heck
nice.
yeah.
That's nice. So tell us a little bit about you. What do you do? What's going on with you?
Well, I've been a King of the Hill fan since I want to say I was about 9-10 years old. So basically when it first started airing right
Yeah.
after The Simpsons, I've
Yeah.
grown up in Waco my whole life. And I'm a
Another
local mailman.
was
You're a mailman.
A mailman.
Third generation.
He is a male person.
Not a mailman, but a mailman.
Well, he
but
is
also a mailman.
A male-
He is
mailman.
a mailman, M-A-L-E, and then a mailman, and then a male person. Yes.
Yeah.
I had a guy here the other day that we were talking about some stuff, and he started talking about how everything is centered around men, which I agree, because that's the way that society
Well,
started.
not only that, like women are charged more for pink items.
Sure.
It's like a whole phenomenon
Sure.
when it's literally the same thing that men use, but just dyed pink.
Yeah.
So like we pay $5 for a blue razor, they'll pay $9 for a pink razor.
My issue was that he brought up the word manhole,
Whoa.
and he wants to call it a person hole.
Whoa.
And I said, that is not a thing we can do as society. If we go to
No.
person hole, I am out. I'm
I
gonna
don't even
have to
think we
find
should call it
somewhere else to
manhole
live.
anymore.
Well, what's it called then?
It should be called street hole.
I told my
There's
wife.
not a hole in a man, there's a hole in the street,
I
right?
told my wife
So it'd
it
be a
should be
street
called
hole.
a street lid.
Street lid.
It's a lid. It's a lid to a
Cap.
hole.
Cap on the street.
It's a street cap.
No cap.
No, well, no. If there's no cap, then you have a problem.
Then you
Your
got a
car will
big
fall in.
problem.
Yeah.
It'd be like a pothole that never ends.
It's like a sinkhole.
Yeah, it's like the never-ending pothole.
All right, so we are on King of the Hill, season 7, episode 23, or
Episode
in the year
23.
of our Lord 7 ABE 20.
Yep.
So very
Yep.
close. The Witches of East Arlen, and that is a
The
callback
Witches
to the
of East
Witches
Arlen.
of East. What's that movie?
Eastwick.
Yes.
Yeah,
Witches
the Witches of
Yeah.
Eastwick. Yeah.
Yeah. That had Diane Keaton and.
That's the only one I know is Diane Keaton.
This originally aired Sunday, May 18th, 2003. I may not have changed that. It may be the next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. the next
Also, I
Next
had
week,
a little bit of news really fast. I'm
week. Yeah,
sorry.
what's up? Go ahead.
Something that I forgot.
While he's looking that up, I'm going to tell you that this is Hank.
Paul Scarlatta
Almost got it on.
wants to do a show. Paul Scarlatta
Paul
is
Scarlatta.
attached to the King of the Hill. He's a director.
I do remember that name.
Yeah, he's a director. He's worked on Regular Show, Big Mouth, obviously King of the Hill. He did 3 episodes of King of the Hill
Yeah.
as a storyboard artist.
Yeah.
And I want to say no, he didn't direct any, but he worked on 3 episodes. I had reached out to him on social media,
Uh-huh.
and he had, reached back and said okay. But he did season 10, episode 1, Hank's on board, and then he did season 10, episode 7, and season 10, episode 10.
Oh, wow.
So I thought it would be more. I want him on ASAP, but I want him on. I'm going to try to get him on again for whenever we get to
do
season
one of his
10.
own episodes.
Well, maybe not on those episodes, but around those episodes. So maybe we do the first episode and we talk about whenever we get to season 10, episode 1, we do that, and then for the Friday we have him talk about it.
Artie says, go get them shuffles.
Yeah, we're trying. I'm trying.
All right, so we got Artie in the room. We got Jamie. We got Jared R. And thank you guys for sitting
Yeah.
in here. We got a few more
Appreciate
people.
you.
They're just not they're not commenting or anything, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's all
So again, this is Witches of East Arlen. Hank is horrified when Bobby joins a group of witches, quote unquote, who want the boy to drink dog's blood during one of their ceremonies. Directed by Matt Ingstrom, Clay Hall. Boy, Clay Hall was involved in so many.
Yeah, he's done a lot of episodes. I want to try to get a hold of him.
Yeah. And then written by Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, and Silvert Glarum. Glarum. Hardly knew
right.
him. Something
That's
like
a crazy name.
that. Yeah. All right, so here we go. We are starting at Tom Landry Middle School outside of room number 223. And this is a teacher speaking. So what you can kind of envision here is the drama department. They're posting.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Okay, so
I
Sivert.
did mean to.
I did.
But that's okay.
Sivert Glarum. If you look at his name backwards, it's Travis Moralg. But that's not what I was talking about. I was actually going to talk about him. He actually wrote for Just Shoot Me for a lot.
Oh, did he really?
For several years.
Just Shoot Me was actually a decent comedy.
He has a writing partner named Michael Jamin, Jamin, and I've seen him on social media peddling his
Jammin'?
his TV writer's guide, how to write for TV. And I'd asked him to be a part of the show.
I mean, if
and
I
he
did it
wasn't
for years,
interested.
I'd be hawking a guide too.
Well, I tried to get him on the show because he's done stuff with King of the Hill before, and he wasn't interested. But this guy here, the Sivart guy, he's wrote for multiple episodes starting around season 6. He did Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret Hill. That was the first one he did. He co-executive produced a bunch of shows and stuff too. Racist Dog being
really?
one of
like
them.
the one we just did.
Yeah, actually 17, 19, 20, 21, and 22, and 23. So all these episodes, pretty much the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes almost.
I spilt my drink.
Missing one, but yeah, for pretty much the last 6 episodes have been done by that guy. But
Jamie says he can call you. You can call him Ace.
So Michael Jamin, I found his TikTok earlier today.
Yeah,
He did like a bunch of questions and answers about this episode.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so I
that's
actually took notes on it, and I had some facts for y'all when we get
that's
to them.
fantastic.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
I did my
didn't even
research
know
on
you had
this
a
episode.
TikTok.
That's wonderful,
yeah.
man.
I didn't even know you had a TikTok. I've seen him on social media because, like I said, he sells like a writer's guide
Like a
for
how-to,
TV.
yeah.
That's mainly what his TikTok is talking about his writer's experience and all that, promoting himself.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out then. Yeah, because I didn't know he did that. Yeah, I didn't know he talked about specific episodes and stuff. That's pretty cool.
All right. So what we start off with is like again, you can think of. Oh, and I didn't realize the teacher is John Ritter.
Yep, the teacher is John
But
Ritter.
this is like the cast posting. You know who got the part in Oklahoma, the musical. All the kids are gathered around outside of room 223, and the teacher says, "Budding thespians of TLMS, I give you the cast of Oklahoma." I've never understood why Oklahoma has an exclamation point at the end of it.
Because they
but-
want you to know it's Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
So for the
What's it
cast
really
list on
Yes.
there, the names of the students that got the parts are actually people who worked on the show of King
Oh,
of the
I
Hill
love
and worked
that.
for Fox.
I love
Ah,
that.
cool.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic.
that's a good-
Some of them were misspelled, but if you fix
Yeah.
it, you can find their real names in their credits.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
awesome,
It's
though.
like it's kind of like Homer Simpson's ear and hair is Matt Groening's initials.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah.
So we get the posts on the board, all gather around to see it. Dooley looks at it first and says, "I'm in a dance number." So there's Bobby standing there. He's kind of pushing him away to the front, and he says, "It'll be an honor to work with you. I think you'll find my portrayal of Curly to be both sensitive and gruff." He looks on the list and he goes, "Now, where are you, Curly?" Because he is convinced that he's got this part.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because he's funny and all of that stuff.
Mildly.
Yeah, and so he's looking at it and he's going, "Now, where are you, Curly?" "Ah, hello there." And he looks over and he goes, "Ken Hayashi." And the teacher comes up to him and says, "Sorry, Bobby, Kenny just has a certain rootin' tootin' quality to him." And then he says his brother had it too. Then we pan the camera over to see a very Asian Ken Hayashi who was wearing a cowboy hat going, "Yee-haw," just doing that whole rootin' tootin' thing.
There was a funny video I watched the other day. It was Adam, what's his name, as Dr. Phil, the guy who dresses up like
the guy who
Dr.
does
Phil.
the stage show.
Yeah,
thing.
it was him and Bobby Lee from
Yeah.
Bad Friends.
Yeah.
and Bobby Lee was doing an Asian cowboy, and that's hilarious.
I bet it is.
Because he did the yeehaw, but it was like yeehaw, like the Japanese sumo
like
sound,
like a sumo.
like the Shaolin or whatever it is, the samurai sound or whatever.
So we get that beautiful overview of Arlen that we always get with like transitions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced after working in the industry that I'm in and having to fill time within shows,
It's probably
I'm
a part
convinced
of
that
it.
that's what that is for.
It's probably a part of it, but it's also a good scene setup. It's
We're
a
like-
good like pan down into the scene kind of thing.
Well, it's like 4 seconds are empty. So
And
we
not
need to
only
throw
that,
something.
like I think it also gives the art director like like art man, I just woke up. I can't think of his name. Wes Archer.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like his. I think it's just that particular artist's just way of
Well, it's almost like his
I don't know
signature.
expression.
At this
Kind of,
point.
it's like it's like him expressing expressing how he feels about the show and kind of thing through those little tiny little
So we get that.
ethereal scenes.
We get that overview of Arlen, the water tower, the whole thing. And then we see Hank in the truck, and he is right outside his own garage, and he's honking because he's ready to go. He says, let's get a move on. I want to get to the flea market while the tube sock guy is still there. Which that
The
seems
tube
like
sock guy.
The tube sock
All
guy. The
right.
guy who sells tube socks, yeah.
That's I don't know how flea markets work everywhere else, but it's a very like you wake up on a Saturday morning and let's head to the flea market.
Let's
kind
get
of
some tube
thing.
socks.
I don't know. I didn't ever go to the flea market for tube socks.
I'd
I'd be scared I'd get a crusty one.
I'm gonna go to the flea market here on Saturday just to see if they have tube socks.
Yeah, there you
used to
go.
s- I-
If you
we've
find
talked
tube
about
socks,
this.
take
I
a
used to
picture
sell at
and
the
I'll
flea
post them.
market.
All right.
Yeah, you did. You used to sell videos, right?
No, I sold carpet.
Carpet
Carpet remnants.
Actually, it's kind of funny because
It was awful.
movies at the flea market. There's a Hispanic lady that sells movies at the flea market
Yeah.
and has done for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
She's actually my dad's. When I say my dad's nephew, my family is large. They
Yeah.
grew up like brothers instead of uncle and nephew. Like my grandma raised a bunch of her grandkids, and he
Sure.
was one of the ones she raised.
Right.
And they grew up like brothers instead. So when I say nephew, don't think like 5-year-old
I got you.
kid.
Yeah.
Think like 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
So it's actually his ex-wife. She's sold movies at the flea market for decades.
I generally
since
picture
I was
everyone
since
as a
I was a
60-year-old
little
man.
kid, she's been doing it.
Yeah.
And she's actually been a part of FBI Sting because she was selling bootlegs
Oh.
at the
At the
flea
flea market.
market,
Yeah.
and it got around. It gets around. If you're selling something at the flea market that hundreds and hundreds of probably thousands of Wacoans are going to, eventually it'll get around that you're doing something wrong. But yeah, she was a part of an FBI sting.
Jared has a really good point here in that tube socks and tube steaks available at Megalomart. I don't understand why you have to go to the flea market to buy your tube socks. Are they just a really good deal? Are they just like tube socks he really loves?
He's always hated Megalomart, Hank has, so I can imagine
that's
him wanting to buy
true.
local.
I guess you're right about that. And he does buy a shit ton of these tube socks. Like
Yeah.
when you see him finally come away with the tube socks, it's a lot of tube socks.
Well, buy local.
How many tube socks
I
can you
don't know
go
if he's
through?
buying local. I think those tube socks might have been smuggled across the border.
I think
there a
I
little
have
bit.
tube socks from like 30 years ago.
Well, you can get a lot of. Well, I think that's what a lot of the vendors do is, especially the fruit vendors, and that's the reason why I like going to the flea market for fruit, because you cannot get fresher fruit because they go on a Friday.
Yeah.
And they drive down there.
Oh, no, I get
they
that.
They fill
Yeah.
that box truck up on a Friday, and
Yeah.
by Saturday morning, like that stuff might have been picked Wednesday or Thursday. Friday, it's on the truck up here, and then Saturday, it's on the flea market tables ready to be
Fresh.
sold. I don't think you can get any fresher than that.
fresh trucks or
Because
fresh
generally stuff you get off of trucks it's got a transit from Chile or wherever the heck it's
Right.
coming from. You
Right.
know, when
Well, it
all
had
that
to come
stuff
over
is
on a-
locally grown, they
it had to
locally
come
grow a
over
lot
on
of
one
that in
those
Mexico.
those big carriers, you know.
Yeah,
usually.
yeah. It's got to take a while to get here, and they spray stuff on it to stun its.
All right,
know,
so
ripening.
Hank is upset because they're losing light on the tube sock guy. Peggy comes out and goes, "Oh, Hank, just cut the pom poms off and wear a pair of mine." Our boy is sulking in bed in his pajamas and a cowboy hat. He goes, "If you ask me, there might be a silver lining to him not being a dancing cowboy," which I am totally on board with him there. Peggy says, "Hank, we both know he is not like you, but you are still his father, so go in there and sympathize with him."
Well, I feel like Hank wouldn't mind the dancing cowboy thing because John Wayne was a dancing cowboy if you kind of boil it down.
I think you saying that, or that would be fighting words?
John Wayne.
John Wayne was a
I
dancing
got a funny
cowboy.
John Wayne story. We were in Golson as teenagers,
Yeah.
and we had like a little fire going at my friend's mom's house, and it was just me and two of my buddies, and we're just sitting there. We're like 19. We're sitting there drinking beers and smoking weed and stuff.
Sure.
And this guy rides up on a horse, and he's fairly intoxicated, man. Has a 6-pack and a saddlebag, and he's sitting there sipping beer, and he just rides up and, "Can I warm my hands up by your fire for a minute?" That's literally all he said. Was
Like you were in the
it
middle
was
of a
just
desert
like John
somewhere.
Wayne. It just felt
Yeah.
like a John Wayne movie. We were just sitting around the fire in the middle of the country, and this guy just rides up, and he sounded almost like
Yeah.
John Wayne, that real slow, like,
Yeah.
"Can I warm my hands up by your fire for a minute?" And he like hops down off the horse and does this like bow-legged stretch. It was kind of funny.
Artie says his dad found tube socks he liked, and he would go to the flea market to get them and give them to everybody. He sent me 12 pairs when I lived on Maui and didn't wear socks 80% of the time.
All right.
Well, there you go. You've still got plenty of tube socks.
All right, tube socks.
Anyway, Hank says maybe there's a silver lining. She says he's not like you. He goes, "It's just the tube sock guy always brings that old German Shepherd. If it gets too hot, I know he's going to have to take him home." So I don't know if he's worried about missing out on the German Shepherd or if he's worried about missing out on the tube socks or both.
Probably a combination.
I'm assuming it's a
Can I
combination.
pet that dog? Yeah.
Peggy makes a really mad face, and then she goes. He gets out and goes in. He goes into Bobby's room. Bobby is in a hat and PJs, listening to the Oklahoma soundtrack in his bed.
All right.
And
I've never seen Oklahoma. I've avoided it for 35
Same here.
years.
That's where the wind comes sweeping down the plains.
Isn't there a classic version of it that I can watch? Like,
Yeah.
the classic
The Rodgers
version
and
of
Hammerstein version
the
that was made
Roger-
like in the 50s or 60s. Yeah,
Rodgers and Hammerstein did it. I
Yeah.
might watch it just because they did it, because they don't.
yeah, it's
very-
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
They don't miss very often.
Yeah.
That Sound of Music, man. I could watch that all day.
Roy Rogers was a singing cowboy, and he makes a fine hamburger, too. I wouldn't trust Roy Rogers to make me a hamburger right now, Artie. I think he's been dead for a while. But I understand what you're saying. All right, so Bobby looks at him. He's just like, "I just can't believe it. I thought it was meant to be." Hank says, "Oh, yeah, I know. It's terrible. It's just terrible. Terrible." That's all he can say is just terrible. He turns off the Oklahoma soundtrack, and he goes, "It's a beautiful day out there. Why don't you get dressed? Throw out that hat and go hang out with your – throw out that hat. Not take it off, but throw it out. And go hang out with your friends." He goes, "I can't. Joseph's at football practice. Connie's at one of her recitals. They both got things they're good at. I always thought performing was my thing. You've seen me fall down. I can cry on demand." He goes, "Why?" See?
I got one for you. Name your 3 favorite Western cowboys, like from like actors or whatever from movies.
Well,
TV
when I was a kid, I did love watching Lone Ranger.
Okay. Who was the Lone Ranger actor?
I don't remember who that guy was. They say his name.
Artie
at the beginning of it,
probably
I believe.
knows.
Yeah, Artie probably does know. But he, I enjoyed watching the Lone Ranger. I really liked the Gunslinger, though. You know, the one that starts where he just shoots off the rifle at the beginning. Oh, the rifleman. Sorry, not
the
Gunslinger.
rifleman.
The rifleman.
Yeah.
The rifleman. Yeah,
I like that one.
I like
Yeah.
that one. And then my third one is going to be a tie between. There was a movie made by the guys who made all the airplane movies, and it was called Rustler's Rhapsody.
Okay.
That is a great movie. It's really, really stupid. At one point, this guy gets pissed off at the other guy because he comes up and keeps asking him for a match. And he goes, "I got a match. You're butting my face." No, wait. It's the other. Anyway. It's
My
just
favorite.
I just remember that as a kid. That was like a really funny thing.
My favorite was I don't really like the TV show specifically, but you
Yeah.
get to see a lot of actors from that era be in the cowboy-like role that you would never probably see in a cowboy-like role ever again. But Gunsmoke,
Gunsmoke was good.
Gunsmoke is filled. Like I
Gunsmoke
really
was good.
watched it because my dad's got it on. They got that Pluto TV or whatever now, and it's just Gunsmoke 24/7. And my dad just loves Gunsmoke, so he'll just sit there and just watch.
Well, I told you
Gunsmoke all
Festus
day.
came here to Waco at one point, right?
Oh, he did. Festus
He
came, to
came
Waco?
through, and I had him sign an 8x10. I've still got it.
Oh, that's
he
funny.
signed an 8x10 out in the parking lot at the Richland Mall.
That I wish I would have known about that. That was
Yeah.
awesome. No,
Oh,
but,
I was small. So you probably weren't even around.
Yeah, I probably wasn't around. But on that show specifically, they have so many different actors and actresses on there. But I like James Stewart. He played a cowboy
Jimmy
once.
Stewart, yeah.
I like his cowboy. I like Gene Autry
Well,
as a cowboy.
now that you've said that, there's another movie called Lonely or the Brave that has, I think it's Jack Palance, but don't hold me to that. Who is Emilio Estevez's father?
Oh,
Isn't that Jack
Sheen.
Palance? Martin Sheen. That's who's in it.
Yeah.
And he is like the last cowboy in the West.
Yeah.
And so it mirrors, or Young Guns 2 mirrors that whole movie, in that they're kind of the last cowboys, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that movie is excellent. Like, he comes riding over this vista and he looks down and there's a paved road with a Model T on it. And he just knows, his time has come. Like, it's very, very good.
And then I guess my third and final one would be, I'm a huge fan, like our family movie. Like, everybody's got that little movie that their family wore the VHS tape out on. Ours was Tombstone. So Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Kurt Russell. I'm forgetting one.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Val
So
Kilmer.
that was a really good movie. I don't think that anybody played a better Doc Holliday
You're right.
in the history of TV or movies. There's no better Doc Holliday than Val Kilmer's.
Yeah. No.
I feel like that character.
But yeah, if you ever want to, Clayton Moore was great. Yes, that's right. He's right.
Clayton
Moore
Moore
was the original Lone Ranger. Clint, Jack Palance,
I was
John
gonna say
Wayne
Gary
is what he
Moore,
said.
but Clint
Yeah.
Moore. That's probably right. Yeah, Clayton. Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say Gary Moore, but that didn't sound right.
Yeah. No,
think
that
Gary Moore did
Lonely or the
Sergeant
Brave, if you
York.
ever want to watch a cowboy movie, watch that. It's really, really cool.
Or Gary Cooper did Sergeant.
Gary
York.
Cooper was great. All right, so he goes, why? And he goes, see? Hank says, oh, well, we just need to find your new thing, a cool new thing. I know just the place to find it. So he takes him to the damn flea market, which
The
is
Tube Sock
a
flea
weird
market,
place
yeah.
to find your new thing.
No, not really. Think about
I
it. How
don't
many
know,
different
man.
hobbies you could pick up at a flea market? You've
I
got
don't know.
bikes. You've got broken washers. Like
You got fake IDs.
yeah, well,
You
yeah,
got
maybe.
pornography.
Did they used to sell fake IDs?
Oh,
at this-
yeah. There was a van.
Oh, a van.
Yeah, you'd have to
Oh,
go
yeah.
up and knock on the van, and they'd let you in, and they'd make you a fake ID.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Dang, I wish I would have known.
It was a long.
I just had to grow a beard
It's like when I
and-
was a teenager.
I had to grow a beard and wear dog tags. So I was in ROTC in high school. So by the time I hit sophomore year, I could grow a beard.
Yeah.
So in the summer, I would grow my hair out and grow a beard out. But I would wear my Navy shirt because I had a bunch of Navy shirts and stuff like that and sweatpants. So I'd go on a Friday night at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
I'd go in just with, the confidence of a 21-year-old man that's actually 16.
Yep.
I would walk in the store. I would grab the beer, set the beer on the counter, hey, let me get a pack of Marlboro Shorts. And they would never question it.
Mm-hmm.
They would ask me where I was stationed at or thank you for your service or something like that. Don't call it stolen valor because I didn't present myself as...
Yeah,
I
you were
just
wearing that
wore the
stuff.
dog tags that were given to me in ROTC, and I wore the shirt that was given to me in ROTC, and they assumed that.
Back then, you didn't think of it as stolen valor, though. I mean,
Nah, I thought of it as cheap beer. And you know what? I've talked to people from the military and told them that story,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Hell yeah, you're 16 drinking beer. That's
Well,
awesome."
when
So
I
they
was-
don't really, nobody really cares.
I've told you this before. I looked a lot like this when I was 16.
yeah.
And so I could just walk in. And you're absolutely right about the confidence part. You got the confidence. They didn't
They
care.
don't care. It's when you go in there nervous. Can I
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
pack of Marlboro
Yeah.
Reds?
Yeah.
No, you got to go in
And
there.
the
Let me get a
cigarette
pack
thing
of Marlboro
the
Shorts.
cigarette thing is a good addition because if you're buying more than one thing, they don't question you as much either.
No,
Or they
if you go in
didn't
there
at
and
the
just get
time.
beer, it's like, oh, you're just getting beer.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know you smoke. Where
You're
the
just a kid
cigarettes
getting
at?
drunk, yeah.
It's Friday night. You're only getting beer. Something's wrong here. Where are the cigarettes to go with that beer?
So they
Yeah.
get to the flea market, and Hank says, the flea market. It's like America's garage. Somewhere in all this old stuff is a new you, son. He goes, hey, a lawnmower engine. Get a truck dolly, an old steering wheel, and you could be the go-kart guy. He looks over and he sees the tube sock guy, and the guy is already fanning his dog, like trying to keep his dog cool. And he goes, oh, come on, it's not that hot. So it makes me think that he's more there for the dog than he is the tube socks.
Yeah.
He goes, here, why don't you take a lap, see what you can come up with. He hands him some money. So Bobby starts looking around for stuff. Bobby is kind of going from booth to booth to booth. And he sees he's at a guy's booth who, a lot of these booths are not really booths. It's just somebody putting a tarp out and putting all their stuff on it or whatever.
Yeah. Grandma's trash.
He goes up and he sees these cards and he goes, "Hey, what are those?" The guy goes, "Oh, those are tarot cards. People use them to tell the future." And he goes, "Oh, they're like baseball cards for hobbits. I'll take them." So he pays for the
hilarious.
He pays for the baseball cards for hobbits. And yeah, I mean, I know he'll leave, but Artie, it sounds kind of like he's there for the dog more than anything. So later on, Hank has tons of tube socks, is what I wrote. I mean, he does. He has 2 giant packages of tube socks. It looks like he went to Sam's to buy tube socks.
He almost, it's almost like he only wears a pair a day or something.
Yeah.
He has so
chunks 'em.
many. Yeah.
Propane stuff on socks. He walks up to Bobby. Bobby's there playing with his cards and reading about it. And he goes, "Hey, Bobby, ready to roll?" "Oh, so you found something?" He goes, "Yeah, I bought these really cool cards." He goes, "Well, all right, Bobby. Everybody respects a guy who's good at cards." Is that true? He goes,
I don't know.
He goes,
Maybe
really?
in some circles.
He likes to party if you play cards. You know?
I guess, man.
I used to hustle at poker and bar games. I actually got banned from a bar game because they like to just play until a certain time of night, win or lose, and I like to play to win money.
Sure.
So I play with them only like 2 or 3 times, but when I'm up, I'd cash out and I'd be like, "All right, I'm done. I'm up $200," and they're like, "That takes money. That takes money out of the pool
they don't like it.
to win." And they're like, "Well, why'd you do that?" I was like, "Well, I'm up $200. I put $20 in, and now I got $220 in my pocket.
Made some money.
Why would I continue to lose?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, well, we played till 10," and I was like, "Well, I played till the money's in, and the money's in, baby. I'm out." So.
So he says, "All right, Bobby. Everybody respects a guy who's good at cards." Bobby says, "Really?" He goes, "Well, sure. That's why they always get nicknames like Amarillo Slim or the Cincinnati Kid. I know. I'll call you Ace."
Amarillo Slim.
Amarillo Slim. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard
the
that one.
Cincinnati Kid. So the
I
next
thought
thing.
that's what they call train robbers, like nicknames.
Well, I thought
I've never heard of
I
card
thought-
sharks having nicknames.
I thought Cincinnati Kid was a pool player, but maybe
Sounds like
maybe
you
I'm
got
wrong.
that name from a cowboy movie and wanted to cheer Bobby up.
It does kind of
Yeah.
sound like it, yeah. So the next thing we see is in the driveway at home, and Bobby is in the tailgate of the truck, and he is he's reading Bill's fortune through his tarot cards. He puts all his cards out, and he goes, "Now focus all your energy on this card, and it'll foretell your future. The 10 of Swords, it means advantage, profit, success." Bill's like, "Oh." He goes, "Well, hey, that's great. Things have been going pretty well for me, with my girlfriend, Leoma." And he goes, "Oh, wait a minute. It's upside down. That means something else. Pain, affliction, tears, sadness, and desolation."
He said girlfriend Leoma.
Yeah, he said girlfriend Leoma, and I think Artie said that he refers to her one more time or something
Well,
like that.
yeah, well, he does. Well, like I said, when last week when we were looking at the production numbers, this one is way out of production order.
That's true.
And
Well, this one's only 3
it
out.
runs
but
into
yeah.
season 8 as ABE07 into season 8. So there's some season 8 that is actually supposed to be in production order.
Gotcha.
And that's the thing is when we start breaking down production orders and stuff like that, like we've discussed before, you do get some of these shows that have references for other episodes that are out of place. And this is one of those instances where he's dated Leoma 2 episodes ago.
Something like that, yeah.
No, it was
Two-
last episode. Was it? We haven't
No,
recorded
I think
in a
it
while.
was-
Was it last episode?
No, we recorded last
No,
week.
it was last episode. It was the maid episode.
Oh, that's true. It was, yeah.
So this is kind of
Artie says Cincinnati
On
Kid was a
time, man.
movie starring Steve McQueen about a card player. So there you go.
okay. So that's the reference. Then, yeah.
All right. So Bill is very upset because he's just told him basically Bill's everyday life.
Yeah.
Now we're at Red Carpet Video, which honestly is a pretty good name for a video store, and it's
not
pretty
bad.
close to what all of those stores were called.
Have you ever thought of reviving the video store?
The only thing I've thought about is like in Austin, there is a video store museum.
In Austin, there's video stores.
There's still video stores. Yeah,
There's-
yeah.
there's a
There's
few.
one really good one, and I can't remember the name.
Half
of it, but it's
price
very good.
books kind of fills a lot of that void in a lot of places, but in some of these major cities where that niche pocket exists, you still get VHS video stores, especially California. They're all over California.
In larger cities, you're gonna have that crowd there that's still in want of physical media.
That crowd exists here in town too.
Yeah, but it's much smaller. because it's a percentage. You know what I
It's
mean?
not as vocal. It's a quiet.
Yeah.
It's a quiet minority.
I don't want to be back in the VHS business ever because they're very freaking heavy when you put them all together.
They are actually.
Carried them around in those Dr. Pepper crates.
I have
you
a
know, the
lot.
plastic ones.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
VHS still in storage.
I really appreciate the throwback and continuity to season 3. After the cuffs and collars incident, I like to think Hank Hill banned the whole family from going to Arlen Video, so now they
That's
go to
true.
Red Carpet Video.
That's true. They go to
yeah,
red carpet
they go to
video.
red
That's
carpet
right. That's right.
instead. Yeah, no
He
more
says-
Blockbuster. We're going
he
to
says
Flicks.
Leoma comes back later to supply cleaning tips to Peggy.
Okay.
Through men, so she is heard yelling over the phone. Well, there you go.
There
all
we
right.
go.
So they're at Red Carpet Video,
Oklahoma.
and Bobby is looking at videos, and he kind of backs up and runs into a guy. And the guy goes, "Oh, for the love of Mordecai. Oh, I see you're into tarot." And he pronounces it that way.
Tarot. I like how he speaks. Mordecai.
Well, this is David Cross.
It is.
So,
I like David Cross's voice.
Same guy from
Small Soldiers.
Arrested Development, where he blew himself.
He was in Small Soldiers,
he made
too.
himself all blue. And I love David Cross. He's got a decent show on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Where he interviews a lot of people. Like he just had Paul F. Tompkins on there.
Yeah, he was on Small Soldiers, which
I do remember that.
the writer of that show came out 30 years later and said that for anybody that knows the show,
Yeah.
you had the Gorgonites
Yeah.
versus the Small Soldiers, and the Gorgonites are like these. They just want peace and
Yeah.
serenity, and
Yeah.
they're not a warrior people or whatever. But the writer came out 30 years later because at the end of the show, these Gorgonites float off down this little river, and that's the last you hear of the Gorgonites.
Right.
And he, I guess, for whatever reason, he wanted to tickle everybody's nostalgia and came and finished the story and said that the Gorgonites made it to Gorgon. That's their whole quest in the show.
The guy you're talking about,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I interviewed him. He was one of the
Oh, the Small Soldiers guy?
yes. He
Oh,
was
man, I
one
would love
of
to
the
know-
he's one of the
hear that.
dorks from 16 Candles.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And we interviewed him and another guy about what they've done is they've taken all of the airport movies, you know, like Airport 77 and Airport 75
yeah,
and stuff,
and
and
mashed
they've
them.
mashed them all together into one movie where like you'll have George Papard walking through a thing and he'll pass himself or whatever. They've like mashed it all together into like one
yeah,
comedy.
Yeah, you have to send me that. I want to
Yeah,
try
I've
that
got
out.
I've got a link to it. I'll send it
I
to
want
you.
to check that out.
They showed it at the film festival.
Oh, he was here in town?
No, he wasn't here in town. Matt Mull and I interviewed him and another guy who did the whole project.
Yeah,
But like
that's
they're
cool.
friends. Like he said that the first people that he gave it to was Penn and Teller, and like Penn and Teller were like, "Oh, we love this. You know, it's great." I don't know. It's weird when people start dropping names like that.
Yeah, no, I would like to talk to him about Small Soldiers. That's one of my favorite
That'd be fun.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good movie.
It is a good movie.
No, it's a great movie. I might watch it today, actually.
So they're at Red Carpet Video. He says, "Oh, I see you're into tarot." He goes, "How long have you divined the cards?" He goes, "Oh, a couple days. It's kind of my thing." He goes, "The only thing you can predict with these is a coincidence," looking at the set of cards he's got.
Yeah.
He goes, "No, if you want any accuracy at all, you need a Mantegna deck, or at least a Fibia." So whatever the hell those are. Bobby
Yeah, I don't
says,
know.
"Huh? Sounds like you really know what you're talking about." He goes, "Yes, sounds like. As a 14th level sorcerer, it'd be a joke if I didn't. Of course, forecasting the future is just the beginning. The real power of magic, then that's magic with a CK, comes in manipulating the present."
You
And
know,
then-
I used to think I was a nerd in school, but when I watch episodes of King of the Hill
This
like
is-
this, it makes me realize that I wasn't really as nerdy as I thought
This
I
is
was.
the nerdiest thing at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that line about the Mantegna deck was really nerdy because those decks are from the 1400s. I don't
Really?
even
That's
know
a
where,
real thing,
They
huh?
don't know where. I don't know where they came up with those references, but you had to be a next level nerd to know that.
That's
Well,
crazy.
you know, I feel like having some of the best TV writers by this point at season
Yeah, very
7.
much in the
I
wheelhouse.
feel because we've noticed too. We've looked at some different things. There was the book episode with Peggy. There was some really deep level, like high level literature references in it, and you had to be really like in your literary bag pretty deep to have some of those references they had. So that makes me think that we might have some educated writers on the show.
Homer Lee, who's in the chat, says Archer, emissary of the Gorgonites.
So if you go back to
yeah.
whenever Bobby's doing the tarot reading for Bill,
Yeah.
he actually got the fortune wrong.
Oh, really?
If you look up the Ten of Swords and you look up its real meaning, it's actually Bill's whole character arc. And
Oh,
I'm
really?
really sad. I won't give any spoilers, but they cut a scene out for the series finale, and that would actually complete that fortune.
Oh, wow.
So you were
Oh,
right.
that's cool, yeah.
They do have some educated writers.
That's actually kind of cool. So he says, CK comes with manipulating the present. And then the guy who owns the video store says, Ward, I told you to clean that bathroom a half hour ago. He goes, I'm right on it, Chief. Bobby says, hey, I want to learn more about this stuff. He goes, listen, my young friend, do not let anyone see this address. Arrive exactly at the stroke of 4. And then you hear the guy again, Ward. He goes, and bring some potato chips. And then, of course, the guy again says, today, Merlin. And then he just starts going, zzz, like he's casting a spell on him or something.
Yeah.
Next thing we see is Hank is repainting the numbers on his curb. And he says, damn it, Dale, you got to stop painting your house number on my curb. And I'm sorry, Hank, but I got to lay low for a while. You have no idea how far the jackals of the Franklin Mint will go to collect a debt.
I was reading one of them neighbor things, in the neighborhood apps or whatever. Apparently, somebody here in town was doing curb painting.
Yeah.
And was taking money from people and just painting whatever number they felt like on the curb and then going on to the next house. Yeah, they were just spraying random numbers and then going to the next house and just spraying whatever numbers. They didn't even have all the numbers. They only had like 1, 7, 6, and 4 or something like that. The cops came and found and they looked and they didn't even have all 9 numbers they needed or 10 numbers they needed.
I mean, I'm assuming you'd have to specify. No, I want my number.
Yeah, they just said number. Paint your number.
Sure.
$20.
I'll get you a number.
Yeah. I'll put a number on there for you.
Not a great number, but I'll get you a number. So he goes, sorry, Hank, but I got to lay. And then he mentions the Franklin Mint coming after him for money, which is that Franklin Mint. Do you remember that?
It's like they mint fake coins or whatever.
Well, they did a lot of like the
real coins, but
Princess Diana plate.
Oh,
that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. They did a lot of that. Bob,
they'd have those commercials where it'd be like a timeless, a timeless,
everything's timeless.
Whatever. Yeah, timeless this. Timeless
Bobby rides
that.
up and he goes, "Is it okay if I'm a little late for dinner? My friend Ward invited me to a gathering." And then for some friggin' reason, Dale says, "Gee, Bobby, you're putting me in a really awkward position. You really should be asking your father." Why would he even respond to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hank says, well, who's this Ward fella? He goes, I met him at a video store. He saw my card pouch, and we got to talking, so I'm going to hang out with him and his friends tonight. I'm bringing the chips. He goes, oh, well, see, Bobby, I knew you'd find your thing, and doesn't that sound like more fun than being in a musical about Oklahoma? Which it does sound like more fun. Now we're at Ward's house.
I was in a non-musical. It was Arsenic and Old Lace.
Really?
I was actually
That's a good movie. That's a Cary Grant movie. Right?
I was a understudy for 2 roles, so I had all memorized. I'd memorized all the lines for 2 roles, but I was just a stagehand, and I was the master of ceremonies.
Oh, cool.
So I just did the setup for it, and each act they had me say a little piece or whatever, and then
now Arsenic, and now
Old Lace.
Sure, that's what. Oops, shit.
And then I did the behind the scenes stuff. So I don't even remember what it was about, honestly.
What's about Arsenic and Old Lace?
Well, it's
about these 2
somebody
old ladies
poisoned.
who poisoned somebody.
Somebody, yeah.
That's really all it is. Great movie though. Okay, so they go to Ward's house. Ward is the guy who divines the cards.
Yeah,
and,
tarot.
It is it's a 2-level house, real like New England-y looking house because it's real flat on the front.
Yeah.
You know? But he goes up and knocks.
Kind of gothic.
Yeah. Ward comes to the door and he goes, "Welcome to the Coven of Artemis." And he takes Bobby down into the basement, of course. There's candles. He's holding a candle to go down into the basement, like the old time Sleepy Bear that goes, that always has like the hat on.
If I'm not mistaken, Artemis is like the god of nature and stuff like
Artemis
that.
is also the name of the
goddess of the hunt, wilderness and nature.
Artemis is also the name of Danny DeVito's girlfriend in Always Sunny.
The daughter of Zeus and Apollo's
one of the
twin
best
sister.
One of the best quotes about her and Danny DeVito in Always Sunny is, "Hey, you got any bacon bits? We like to put them in her hair while we're bang."
Speaking of bacon bits, bacon and 2 slices of tomato on a chicken McGriddle for breakfast is, man,
okay,
really good stuff.
This segue brought to you by McDonald's. He takes him down, and Bobby's like, "Wow, cool layer." By the way, Artemis is wearing, or Ward is wearing a purple robe. He goes down there, and all the other guys are wearing purple robes. There's 4 other guys down there. He goes, I suppose introductions are in order. Bobby, meet Vaughn, Norum Woodbender, Pan the Soothsayer, and, of course, the master of disaster, Mitchell Jefferson.
They use a lot of
so funny.
Greek.
Mitchell Jefferson. He goes, he's cool. And Mitchell says, you can't just bring outsiders to our meetings. He goes, okay, Mitchell, he's cool. It's cool. He goes, you're supposed to. He said, I said he's cool. Mitchell goes, welcome.
He mentioned Pan, which is a Greek god.
Pan the
again,
Soothsayer.
which is another Greek god. The Greek god of the wild, shepherds and flocks, rustic music and nature, that kind of thing.
Okay. So he tells him he's cool. He goes, Bobby, be forewarned, because the powers of the coven people fear us. When we walk down the streets, mothers steer their babies away. Shopkeepers close their stores. He goes, holy, this looks like something out of Harry Potter, because he's over the side, like, looking at all the stuff.
And Harry Potter, there you go, Harry Potter reference.
Well, he picks up this little gargoyle statue, right? And he goes, this looks like something out of Harry Potter. And he goes, dude, I vouched for you. He goes, if Harry Potter went to hell,
which
and all of them are like, yeah, that's
right
more
now at World Market they have English breakfast tea tins that are Harry Potter commemorative tins. You could get all 4 of the main houses in
this segue brought to you by World Market.
Well, you mentioned commemorative, so I had to bring up the commemorative stuff again.
Ward Rackley and the Coven of Artemis would make a great Harry Potter parody.
Yeah, it would.
It
Definitely would.
So we're at Arlen Mall. I found this to be really weird.
You know what I found weird?
What?
The mall.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're
I
going
found
to
it
a
to
mall,
be weird that you
yeah.
go to a mall to shop for spices.
Just for well, they do
they're
have that
looking
little kitchen. That it's I guess they might have some spices in it, but
Maybe
the kitchen,
when you had
the kitchen appliance store where they have all the as seen on TV kitchen appliances.
Well, you also used to have the what's the place that sold those Eckridge Farms? No, well, something farms. They sold sausage and cheese
Hillshire
and stuff.
Farms.
Hillshire
Yeah,
Farms.
that's
There
right.
you
Go
go. Maybe, but I don't know where else you buy this.
Or the guy who sells calendars and board games. I think the mall's just got some weird stuff. Or like the Dead Sea Salt Mediterranean people. They're trying to sell you Dead Sea Salt foot scrub or something.
A company just bought the Temple Mall, and they're going to try to
revive the mall,
no, they're going to try to revive the mall.
But don't they have to do like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of repair on that building?
It seems weird to me
because that building has a lot of like structural issues. I thought.
I think it'd be better just knock it down. Yeah, they closed it. They condemned it not long ago.
Well, I'm kind of curious as to what they're going to do with the outlets out in. They were tearing it down. That's what I'm saying. I wonder what they're going to do with that big pad. That's going to be a massive
That's
empty
where all the
space.
traveling circuses will go.
The traveling circuses.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, they do have that one space out in Lacey Lakeview off the side of the highway where they just built that big factory or whatever. It's right next to it where they were having like Cirque Day, Crack Day Soleil or whatever you want to call it. I don't.
Well,
I don't think it was Cirque
It was
Day
that
Soleil.
weird, like
weird stuff.
dark circus or whatever.
Yeah. But it was just in a weird. It's just a weird place
Come
that
see
they
me
have
put
it.
a sword through a goat or something.
I did see on Facebook Marketplace a while back, like recently within the last month, the big skeleton skull that used to be out there at the haunted.
Somebody was trying to sell it.
In Elmont,
I contacted that guy because I thought he owned the building.
Oh, you were trying to find out about the building.
I was just going to throw concerts in the building.
They're not.
But he doesn't own it. Somebody else does, and they don't want to sell it. So
man.
whatever. I guess it sits there and makes money.
They don't want to lease it.
They can write it off or something. I don't know.
They don't want to lease it or anything.
I guess. I don't
they
know.
don't do nothing with it.
It's all right. We'll find some other place.
Yeah, we'll find something.
So
we'll find a field somewhere.
He says they're at the Arlen Mall, and they're in a place where you can buy spices for some reason.
Mall spices.
And Ward says, "This, Bobby, is nutmeg, and we use this spice for." And Bobby goes,
hallucinating. You could smoke nutmeg and hallucinate, according to Mansers on Spike TV.
He goes, I remember. Give me a second. Invincibility. He goes, resplendent. The spices sit easily upon you. And then some employee in the store walks up, and it reminds me of like Hillshire Farms because he's wearing like an apron, in there. And he goes, "Oh, I see you boys are making a cake." He goes, "A cake?" He goes, "Yeah, a cake of tremendous power." And then they're all just like high-fiving each other. Score one for the acolyte. Now, we are at the football game. In the stands is Hank, Peggy, Bobby, Dale, and Nancy. We hear over the loudspeaker, "Fumble, Joseph Gribble." And then Dale says, "As much as I hate seeing my boy play badly, I do enjoy hearing his name over the loudspeaker," which seems a very Dale thing. Like,
it is a very Dale thing.
on the surface, I love hearing my boy's name. Bobby says, "Sorry, but I got to blow off the last quarter. I told the guys I'd meet him in the parking lot." So Hank and everybody still thinks that he's just made some new friends, right?
Yeah.
Hank says, you got to know when to hold them, Ace. And then Peggy says, like Artie said, "Go get him, Shuffles." Which is such a stupid name, Shuffles.
That is a stupid name.
He leaves, and Hank sees that he left his card pouch there. And he goes, Ace is going to need this. And so he goes down, and he's going to take it to Bobby wherever Bobby's gone. He stops, and he sees some kids, and he goes, "Hey, any of you kids seen Bobby Hill, blonde hair, card player?" The kids don't know. They just kind of shake their heads. He goes, "That's okay. He must be tailgating over there." So he goes over there. He sees a fire and some people dancing around in robes. And one of the dorks that is dancing around the fire is like, "Forces of fire, beings of the south, we command you to rise and lend us your power." And then they see him come up and they go, "Interloper!" He goes, "What the hell are you people doing?" Bobby, of course, is there. And he goes, "Hey, Dad." He goes, "Bobby?" He goes, "Meet the guys." There's like we used to like to call ourselves the Coven of Artemis. And we get a patented wah.
Ooh.
And then we go to commercial break. That is our first one. We will take that, and we will
be right back.
There it is. Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today.
Discover the world of luxury sex toys at Luxury Toy X and indulge in the ultimate pleasure experience. For years, we have been dedicated to the belief that sexuality and wellness are essential components of a happy and healthy life. With over 70,000 satisfied customers, we take pride in our ability to provide products that enhance your sexual well-being. Join our community of satisfied customers and unlock a world of pleasure and self-discovery. Visit luxurytoyx.com today.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
All right, and we are back. So we left the boys in the woods dancing around the fire. Hank is very worried at this point because he knows that his son has gotten into some weird stuff. Artie says, one of my favorite catchphrases from King of the Hill is Bobby saying, "Hey, Dad." Bobby is always excited when he says it, clueless to the full situation, and Hank usually reacts horrified.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a very good one that you could lift out of almost every episode. All right, so we are back there, and Hank is dragging Bobby out by the arm back to the truck because he doesn't want him to be part of that.
Rightfully so. Yeah.
He goes, "Here I am thinking you're playing nice, honest game of poker. Instead, you're summoning the Prince of Dragons."
you know. This is what we had a friend growing up that his mom, like, he could come hang out with us, but but when she found out that we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, she stopped letting him come hang out with us and play Dungeons and Dragons with us. This is what I think that she thought.
Yes, very much so.
Like this is what
everybody's
instead
saying.
of it just being a bunch of like teenagers sitting around a dining room table eating chips, playing with their imaginations on a piece of paper.
This is the same thing that
That's
Tipper Gore thought happened in
exactly
hair
what
metal.
they thought.
Also,
Yeah. Hair metal is that's my thing. That's my one quote that I always say. The best thing to come out of hair metal is Pantera.
Yeah.
It's literally the only good thing about hair metal, I think.
Van Halen.
Oh, I forgot about Van Halen.
Van Halen was
too,
excellent. Yeah.
I don't know. Are they?
Well, I always have that conversation with my wife. She always calls them hair metal, and I say they're not.
I don't
But
think they're hair metal.
they started as not hair metal. They became hair metal.
Yeah, I think they segued
After
into it
1984,
because
they were hair metal.
because they came before, and when you become before something, generally as an older band in that hair metal era, you got to do with what's popular, and I think that's the reason why they went that way.
It also followed a trend that was happening in California at the time on Sunset Strip and stuff where they all started, and they all became like Poison and Van Halen.
Rest
and
in
all that
peace to
stuff,
Ozzy, but I thank God he never became a hair metal band.
Well, he was a little bit.
He had hair.
Because I saw him when he was the fat Ozzy. and
Well, he had hair.
He was about as hair metal as you could get at that point.
He had big hair, and he
That
was
was him
close.
and Zakk Wylde.
They were close, but
Yeah.
I think they avoided the moniker at least.
Well,
They might have had elements, but I think
had
they
never
avoided
really
the moniker.
heard Ozzy do a ballad, and then towards the end of the '80s, everybody was doing ballads because those became
Oh, he's got some good ones.
radio friendly.
But I thought he had I thought he had ballads on the first album.
not a lot.
I thought he had that "Mama, I'm Coming Home." I thought that was on the first album.
Mama, I'm Coming Home is later.
Or Changes is early.
That's later too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't even write that anyway. I think Tony Iommi wrote that,
Yeah.
or the drummer
Forget about Tony Iommi. Yeah.
Bobby something West. I think is it something West is a drummer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, after he died, I watched like individual documentaries on YouTube about each person in the band, and they were talking about Tony Iommi, and a part of his ability to be able to play guitar, as badass as he was, is he was in an industrial accident in Birmingham when he was younger and working, and he had chopped off 2 of his fingers. And he had to come up with a way to be able to still play with his fingers being all messed up. So he took a plastic bottle and wrapped it around his finger and heated it up so the plastic bottle would form around his finger.
Yeah.
And I don't know I imagine he doesn't use plastic bottles now as a world famous guitarist. But back in those days before he was known, he would just use like a piece of plastic and he would melt
plus
it
he's
to where it would
112 now,
stick to his
or
finger.
whatever, you know.
Well, I watched him play, man. I watched that concert. I
did
live
too.
streamed
He's
that
badass,
concert. And it's amazing how they could get into that mode, even though they're so old and they're all sick and dying and stuff, and still be able to perform and put on that good of a show. Ozzy struggled, obviously. There was a couple points where you could tell where he wanted to stand, and at one point he even put his hands on the chair to pull himself up, and you could see him. He was just like hitting it and shit. He was just getting frustrated because he wanted to stand one last time, but he couldn't get the energy to do it. But
I'll tell you what, one of the best performances like that I've ever seen is Post Malone at the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary doing that Nirvana song.
That was good.
Man, that was excellent.
Well, not only that, you talk about covers of songs.
Yeah.
Youngblood is this rocker from Yorkshire, England, and he just recently started coming up on my feed before Ozzy passed, and I watched his. He actually released it, and all of the proceeds go to charity.
Doing the vocals for
everything. He did the Changes song.
Yeah,
and his actual version of it is just so raw. Really, really, really good vocal talent.
That's cool. All right, so he's dragging Bobby to the truck, and he says, "You're summoning the Prince of Dragons." A bunch of kids walk by, and they go, "Hey, check out the dork, Jedi Knight, 10 o'clock. Hey, what's with Yoda?" Because he's in the robe, right?
Yeah.
So they call him Yoda. He goes, "You can't play poker with these cards, Dad. It's a good way to bring down the wrath of Lud." Because it's all here in the book I bought. He shows him the book, The Forest of Magic, with a CK. And he goes, $45. The family Bible costs less than that, and it was written by Jesus. I love that line. That is the best line of this entire
great
episode.
line.
That is a good line.
He goes, "Yeah, but this book tells you how to summon wood nymphs and water spirits or water sprites." Sorry. He goes, "All right, look, I know you're at an age where you think all that stuff is interesting. Believe me, it really isn't."
I've got a Wrath of Lud reference.
Wrath of Lud. Watch out, everybody. Hang on. I'd like to caution all the children. Please turn away from your radio devices He's about to invoke the wrath of Lud.
Okay, so the Wrath of Lud is the only thing that appears about it is it says here the Wrath of Lud might be a reference to an ancient Mesopotamian poem called Ludul. I'm not even going to try it. The English translation is Poem of the Righteous Sufferer. The poem describes the suffering of a man and his eventual restoration. It's not a widely known term, but it refers to a specific text. So it translates to "Let me praise the Lord of wisdom."
Backwards, it's dull. All right, so he goes, yeah, but this is how you get wood nymphs and water sprites. He goes, all right, look, this is just not interesting. He goes, but you told me to find a new thing, and then when I do, you just want to take it away from me. They're my circle of power. He opens the truck for Bobby, and he goes, believe me, Bobby, I'm doing it for your own good. Now, we're not going to tell your mother about this. I know she shields me from a lot of the things you do, and, well, I'm going to return the favor on this one. All right, so now we're at Little Pizza Paradise. We've never seen this place.
No,
Little Pizza Paradise.
There is a fun fact I forgot to say at the beginning. This is the last fully hand-drawn episode.
Oh.
After this,
we go digital?
Well, we've had digital scenes throughout at this point since season 6.
But not an entire episode.
This season 7, you got to think we're now 1997, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4.
This is 2003.
We're at 2003. Season 8 starts in 2004. Think of 2004 in your mind about technology at that time. Everything was going digital as far as television. They were getting ready to switch. We were at the point where they had already released. The government had already started talking about doing the HD switch and all that. Of course, they don't end up doing that complete switch to what was it, like 09?
Something like that.
But they had already discussed the switch from analog signal to digital signal. It's already like in conversation in government at this point. Right. So
it frees up
this
airways.
Is it. Yeah, no. And
Random 993 says, hiya.
Oh, well, hello.
And
then we're also getting back into it now. Now we're going full circle to where hand-drawn animation is coming back with
unique.
Pixar.
At this point.
Pixar's supposed to do a fully
Can't wait for
Pixar
that one.
or DreamWorks, one of the two.
The guys from the Coven are at Little Pizza Paradise. They're coming from their they got their food on trays, and they've turned around and they're looking for a seat. This guy, one of them uses a crystal to try to find a table for him. He goes, harness the energy of the crystal. And he uses this crystal. A dad and his kid get up and leave. Yeah. And then they go, oh, I did it. Like he performed a freaking magic trick. He goes, well done, Noram. Your powers are growing stronger. Bobby comes in. He goes, hey, guys. He goes, young apprentice, something is on your mind. I can sense it. Well, no shit. He just walked in through the door and he said, hiya.
Yeah.
He goes, my dad says I can't hang out with you guys anymore. I guess he thinks magic, CK, is dumb. He goes, magic is dumb? Does this look dumb? And he goes, psss. And then one of the guys, he does a little flashbang grenade thing in his hand, right? Where he goes, like that. And then you hear one of the guys who works there shout over to him, don't make me come over there. Because obviously this has been a problem in the past.
Yeah.
He goes, Bobby, the problem with your father is he's ungifted. Our kind have always been persecuted by those who understand not. He goes, from the Salem trials of the 1600s to the locker room beatings and bathroom swirlies of today, 'tis all one. Bobby says, so that's why my dad is so weird about this. He's threatened by my powers. Goes, Bobby, the mark of Merlin is upon you. When you have completed your training, you will be a white wizard. He says, really? Wow. What do I have to do? When can I start? He goes, your training begins now. You can start by refilling my root beer.
If you're in any kind of organization and they offer to make you a white wizard, don't walk, run, especially in the South, run.
That's absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah. Especially if they start calling you a grand white wizard.
So now you see Bobby, and he's got these little finger symbols on, ching, 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 and he's on a robe, and he's on the playground. So he's trying to show all these younger kids at Tom Landry Middle School that he can invoke magic. He goes, "It was wise that you came to me, but be forewarned that I am merely a vessel through which these powers flow." And like there's 3 little kids there, and they go, "Are you going to help us get our kickball off the roof?" He points to the ball up there, and he goes, "Silence! By the breath of Hecates, I summon the winds of the north to blow. Blow, I say." And it doesn't. And so, of course, Principal Moss walks up behind him, puts his hand on his shoulder, and goes, "Bobby, a word, please." Takes him to his office. And then Bobby looks back, and he sees the janitor on a ladder who gets the ball down with a broom, and he goes, "Resplendent." Just like his dork friend.
Yeah.
Now we're in the principal's office. We got Hank and Peggy sitting there, and Bobby sitting behind them still in his robe. And Principal Moss says, "Before we get started, I'd like to know the proper term for your religion. What's the politically correct term for witch?" Peggy says, "Hank, what is going on here?" Because, he's shielding her. She has no idea. He goes, "Nothing. Bobby just got a little carried away with this new club, and there's nothing to worry about. He's quitting." Bobby's,
the Hecate, the god or whatever, she's a goddess.
Hecate.
In Greek mythology. She's associated with magic, witchcraft, the moon, crossroads, and the night. She is also linked to the underworld, ghosts, and the boundary between worlds.
And she makes a wonderful gumbo.
While initially a minor figure, she gained prominence in the 5th century BCE and became a widely revered goddess, particularly in households. She's a protector of households. They call her a triple goddess with 3 bodies facing 3 different directions, often at a crossroad. Black dogs and ferrets are associated with Hecates for whatever reason. And she's a Greek goddess, but some believe she originated from the Carians in Asia Minor and was later adopted by the Greeks. So in a lot of that time frame, people would travel and they would come back to Greece, and they would travel and they would hear of a god from some other place.
Sure.
And they were like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And they would bring it back to Greece with them.
Used to be a
and she's
place
one of
here.
them.
Used to be a place here in town where you could go see a Hecate's, but they closed all those places down. So
Oh
there's no
yeah,
more of
for
that.
sure they did.
All right, so
They're
he
actually
wants-
building low-income housing on top of the
That's
last
right.
one,
There's
yeah.
low-income housing on top of the strip joint where Hecate's
Well, where are they
used
going to
to
work
perform.
at? You know what I'm saying? They
Next-
take all the low-income housing, and now where do the strippers get it? Like, they got a
OnlyFans.
place to live and nowhere to work.
It's gone digital. It's OnlyFans. So
Yeah,
Bobby,
went digital, yeah.
Bobby says, "I think everyone's
Well,
just a little
I don't think the OnlyFans girls are living in low-income housing. I've
Probably
seen
not.
some of the mansions they live
Probably
in.
not."
Yeah.
Have I ever told you about the one that was on Andrew's show? That we had an OnlyFans girl on his show. Like, this is probably 5 years ago, right?
No, I think I do remember. I
The
think I
one that
do
lives
remember
here
that. I haven't
locally.
watched it, though.
It's the one that lives here locally.
Yeah.
She used to put out pictures for like holidays and stuff, and she would be like, in a bikini, but dressed up like a turkey that's been cooked.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
like she had like those big white things on their feet, like
Yeah.
they're the end of drumsticks and stuff.
That's pretty
It's the
funny.
weirdest thing. But we had the interview.
It works, though.
And the interview, if you'd like to stuff a turkey.
Well, I'm sure there's a niche for it. Somebody
The-
likes humping cooked meat.
The interview was great, with the exception of the fact that he would ask these questions and she would be like, "Yeah." That was it. That's like,
Oh,
he
she
had to
wouldn't
pull
elaborate.
answers out
Yeah,
of her,
she wouldn't
right?
elaborate. She
And
would just
then-
say, "Yeah, no."
She got to laughing about halfway through, and one of them just pops right out, right in the middle, in the middle of the interview.
Hey, that's great promotion for your OnlyFans right there.
Well,
Wow.
what we did is I ended up covering it up with a little picture of Andrew's face. So there you go.
That's
Just a
awesome.
little-
You got to see a free titty.
little nipple
Yeah,
cover.
there you go.
Yeah,
Hell
with
yeah.
Andrew's face
That
on
wasn't a bad day at work.
No, it was
Creative
fine.
censoring right there, too.
That was when I was still drinking too, so it was a great day.
Yeah. Half lit with a tit. Hell yeah.
Bobby says, "I think everyone's a little uptight. Why don't I summon a tranquility spirit so we can all rest easy?" He goes, "Oh, powers of ancient Borladoon." He's gotten up and he's like summoning now and stuff. And the principal says, "I can't have him praying in my office. School board's very clear on that." Hank says, "Oh, he's not praying. He's stopping right now." And then you can see in the back that Bobby's just spinning around in circles for some reason. And Hank says, anyway, he says he's not praying. He's leaving right now. Peggy says, "Hank, I may be a mother, but I am still a woman. And I know a girl repellent when I see it. And I want grandchildren. You fix this now." All right, we're back at Ward's house because Hank drags Bobby out again by his arm. And Hank is now at Ward's house. He knocks on the door, and Ward comes to the door. He's the one that answers. Hank says, Mr. Rackley? He goes, yes. He goes, yeah, I'd like to have a word with you about your son, Ward. You see, he and my boy Bobby are playing. Excuse me, but I am Ward Rackley. He goes, you're Ward Rackley? He goes, it's one of my many monikers. Yes, I am also known as Maglagar of the North Woods, and in certain company, Austin Osman Starklavarton or something.
Whatever the hell that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, how old are you, 30, 40? He goes, ha, not even close. I am 5,000.
So, fun fact about Ward and his age.
Yeah.
The writer of the episode said that Ward Ratley was a real person. He was a production assistant for King of the Hill.
Oh, really?
I couldn't find a picture, but he said he looks exactly like him. And with his blessing, the Ward Ratley said, please make him as nerdy and as dorky and as a loser as you can.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And he said that because of this, canonically, Ward is 35 years old. And after watching this episode, I will be 35 in 1 week, and that makes me feel so much better with how my life's
good.
going.
Yeah, I think you've come a lot further.
It's August 8th.
Mine's the 6th.
Nice.
There
Happy
we
birthday.
go. Happy birthday. Yeah, there we go.
Artie gives you a big thumbs up, AJ.
Thanks, Artie.
He says, how old are you? He goes, I am 5,000. He goes, don't you have some friends of your own age, like someone to drink with, maybe a girlfriend? He goes, and waste my seed on a common harlot? Not likely. When the time is right, a maiden will be delivered up to me. He goes, probably from the east. Okay, yeah, well, that makes total sense that he would get an eastern girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's the... And I apologize to any of you if this offends you, but the waifu type stuff with the big pillows and all of that kind of, this is what
I'm
think.
not sorry if it offends you. Mike might be, but I don't give a damn. That shit's weird.
That's why I don't go to the mall anymore.
Yeah,
That is a weird thing,
humping
man.
pillows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can like anime as much as the next person, but like
There's a line. You cross that line.
having sex with pillows is the line.
Oof. I had somebody tell me today that their dad is an incel.
Their dad is an
Their
incel.
dad is an incel.
Well, how could their dad be an incel?
She said he's 45 years old, and he's told her that his qualifications for a woman are they have to be 30, they have to have no kids, they have to have a good job. I mean, he's just looking for sugar mamas. All that.
That's what it sounds
Right.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he an alcoholic by chance?
All right. So, yeah. Okay, Artie, you don't know what a waifu is. All right. So he says, it's going to be somebody from the East. He goes, some of this isn't your fault. I mean, a man can only take so many wedgies before he goes to pieces. Good luck to you, buddy, and stay away from my son or I'll kick your ass. I mean, he's just like matter of fact about it, you know? He goes, you don't understand who you threaten. I have powers, terrible powers. And then Hank leaves. Ward turns around to go back in the house. The door is locked. And so he starts banging on it, going, Ma! Ma! All right, now we're back at the Hill House. Bobby is on the couch with his tarot cards. There's tarot cards.
Tarot.
Hank
Yeah.
comes in. He goes, okay, we tried it your way. Now we're doing it my way. This is a carburetor. Take it apart, put it back together, repeat until you're normal.
It's a
That
good
is-
idea.
That's
That
funny.
is one of
Yeah.
the greatest things Hank has ever said to Bobby right there.
Imagine that's how your dad punished you. He just gave you a
Repeat
carburetor and
until
said
you're
rebuild. Yeah.
He goes, but Dad, the dark arts are nothing to be afraid of. He goes, I'm not afraid of that garbage. I'm afraid of you getting your ass kicked every day for the rest of your life because you found a new way to act like a nerd. He goes, Ward said you wouldn't understand. He goes, Bobby, you don't need a crystal ball to see Ward's future. He's going to live with his mother until she dies and maybe for a few weeks after.
That's a good line. That's a really good line.
He gives him the carburetor book and he goes, now, till you stop with all this nonsense, I want you to take your carburetor and go to your room.
Take your carburetor and go to your room. Yes.
Bobby picks up the carburetor, picks up the book, goes to his room and kind of sulks. He sees that his window is wide open, and so he sneaks out and goes towards in his purple robe. Now we're in Ward's basement with all of them, and Bobby says, I know my dad must have come off some kind of nut job, but you got to believe I'm completely committed to our power circle. Ward says, are you? I wonder. I think you'd be able to control your father as effectively as I control mother. Nevertheless, Bobby's daddy has shown us persecution of our kind is on the rise. Perhaps it's time to take our powers to the next level. Everybody gives kind of high fives and says yes. He goes, tonight, we are going to kick it up a notch and summon a dread force that will bestow upon us an unequaled power. And of course, we'll need someone to be the chalice holder. Everybody just kind of looks at the floor. Nobody wants to be the chalice holder because they all know what it means except for Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby says, I'll do it. He goes, excellent, my young apprentice. You'll earn that white wizard cone yet. Cone. He goes, we will convene at the ceremony grounds at 8:30 hour, assuming, and he starts putting on his work vest for the video store, that fat ass lets me leave on time. Bobby says, cool. So what does the chalice holder do anyway? He goes, and one of the dorks, I don't know which one, but the one with the lisp, goes, you hold the chalice during the incantation, and then right after we light the candles, you drink canine spiritus.
Canine spiritus.
Bobby says, what's canine spiritus? He goes, dog blood. He goes, what? He goes, you are the chosen one, Bobby. Soon and for all time, you will be known throughout the land as Robert the Dog Coiffer.
The Dog Coiffer.
That sounds like a
Whatever
swear
that
word.
means.
Everybody there starts to dance and chant. And that is our second commercial break. We'll take that, and we will be
Right back.
there. It is.
OsleyMD.com.
I've always had thin hair my whole life. It breaks off at a certain length. In the last 6 months, I've noticed it just really bad. I mean, you could totally see it. I wear a hat a lot. I tried several different products. My experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
OsleyMD.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Introducing Muck Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator. Yeah, so we're talking about waifus still because Artie told us he has a big collection.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at the Ninth Dimension bookstore, which I'm assuming is kind of like a what was that, Earthbound and stuff like that, right? That kind of stuff probably smells a lot like sage in there and different.
I worked there for
Himalayan salt lamps.
a little bit.
Did you? Yeah, salt lamps,
Yeah,
stuff like that. A lot of
it was
that.
actually my first job as a legal resident of this country was Earthbound and Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
They were right next to each other. They shared a hallway. So I worked at Bath and Body Works at the time, and I would go outside to smoke cigarettes. And when I would step outside to smoke a cigarette, out back would be the guy who was the manager for Earthbound. So I'd stand out there and smoke cigarettes and talk to him. And eventually he was like, yeah, I got a job open. Go ahead and apply.
Yeah.
And I would work both of those. Those only mall jobs I had was a girly lotion store and the hippie store, Earthbound.
The only mall job I ever had is I worked at Sears twice.
Serious.
Yeah.
Earthbound was
Waco,
cool.
One in Waco and one in Austin.
Earthbound was really cool. Bath and Body Works was cool. I was the only dude who worked there, so it wasn't a bad thing. It was like mostly like in the daytime it was MILFs, and at the evening time it was Baylor chicks. So it was gilfs. No,
Sure.
it was Baylor chicks at night that worked there, and then in the daytime it was like women who had been stay-at-home moms, and now their kids are like too old for them
Now
to be a
it's empty
stay-at-home
nest or
mom.
whatever.
So it'd be like middle-aged.
So we're at Ninth Dimension Bookstore, and we see John Redcorn. He's there handing out flyers. And he goes, have you checked out John Redcorn's New Age Healing Center? You really should. On Friday nights, John Redcorn and his band Big Mountain Fudge Cake will be playing. I'm John Redcorn.
That's the first mention. That's the first mention of it.
He was just trying to pick up ladies there with that, wasn't he?
But I just love the fact that he goes through this whole thing and then goes, and I'm John Redcorn. Like, it just is so self-serving. It's so funny. Guy in the store says, I told you no more flyers. He sees Bobby over there reading through some books and stuff. He goes, hey, Bobby, you like to rock? You like to rock. He goes, huh? Oh, I'm just reading on some ancient ceremonies where people had to drink animal blood. There's got to be a loophole somewhere. He goes, you're losing me. He goes, you can't tell anyone this. Promise me. He goes, Bobby, I give you my oath as a New Age healer. And boy, he breaks that quick, like you said. He goes, okay, this group of guys I hang with, we're doing a ceremony tonight, and they want me to drink the dog blood. He goes, dog? Ooh, that's just weird. He goes, I have to do it. I can't do theater. I can't do sports. If I can't drink something gross, what have I got? And so he just kind of wanders off, all sad and stuff. We then go to the alley with all four guys sitting there, or all four guys standing there drinking beer. And, of course, Dale is the first one that says, I had a breakthrough last night with my fruit rehydrator. Can you believe a mere 12 hours ago these plump, luscious grapes were raisins? And he pulls them out like a cup of water. Like, why are you rehydrating raisins?
Yeah, I don't understand why you would do that.
I've never seen a rehydrator.
I've never seen anybody rehydrate grapes or
just
raisins.
buy a grape. I'm sure it tastes
yeah,
better.
Yeah,
Well,
it
they
probably
look like
does.
shit, too. They're just so gross looking.
Most of them are sun-dried, so yeah, they probably don't taste the same.
John Redcorn comes driving up in his Jeep, and he's got Double Vision by Foreigner playing the whole time. I thought it was weird that he didn't even turn it down as he's talking to him.
No, he just left it up full blast, yeah.
He goes, Hank, there's something I think you should know, something very personal and disturbing. And then Dale says, oh, sounds like we should leave. And they do not leave. They just say that. They don't leave. He goes, what is it, John Redcorn? He goes, Bobby's going to drink dog blood. And all three of them are like, ah! And he goes, what? He goes, it's part of some ceremony his friends have cooked up, and it's going down tonight. He goes, no god dang way I'm not going to let Bobby be branded a freak for the rest of his life. And he gets in Redcorn's Jeep and they drive off. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't.
Hank, number one, in the passenger seat, and number two, in John Redcorn's vehicle.
Yeah,
I don't know that happens very often.
Yeah,
for all of John Redcorn's faults, that he has all of his ways, I'm glad that he cared enough about Bobby to actually reach out to Hank about it.
To reach out, yeah.
Well, and he probably understands that if his son was in the middle of that, Hank would do the same thing.
It kind of reminds me of,
I
I got a quick life story. So it reminds me of this time me and my buddy had walked down to the street to the park to go smoke a cigarette. Left my parents' house. We're like 16, 17. And we get to the park. We smoke a cigarette. We're sitting there. Our cigarettes are done and out. And we're just sitting on the swings, sitting there talking. And then my dad just like slides up, like we're at the park sitting in the like on the swings, and my dad drives it was a Chevy Blazer just onto the park walking path, and like has his like face and goes, and he sticks his head out the window and says, y'all two walk home and think about what you did. And he didn't even tell us what we did. So we're like, what did we do? And we get to the house, and it was about, we got to the house, and he was like, oh, smoking cigarettes at the park, huh? The lady across the street, that my brother's best friend lived catty corner from the park, and apparently his mom had recognized me and called my dad and said that she saw me smoking at the park. And I'd even finished my cigarette. My dad like slid up to the park. It was funny.
Used to be a thing though, like where
it did. Somebody in the neighborhood would see you.
Neighbors would rat you out like crazy. So yeah, I mean that used to be a thing.
Fuck them neighbors.
So they get in and they drive off. Now we're at night. The area where they're performing this thing is the baseball field.
The baseball fields, yeah.
They're on the mound, and
it's a great place to do coven Artemis stuff.
Well, one of the other guys has a real point here. But he goes, before we get started, a debt of gratitude is owed to Brother Vaughn for procuring the offering. Vaughn says, my mom's new boyfriend is a veteran, and he picks up or a veterinarian, and he picks up this blood pack like you would hang on an IV or whatever.
Yeah.
Dog blood. He goes, he lets me call him Rick.
That's so funny. Yeah,
lets me call him Rick, which is his name, I'm assuming, right?
Or maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not. And he just lets him call him
What
Rick.
Is Rick short for? Richard? Do you call somebody Richard Rick?
Yeah, you can call somebody Richard.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
He goes, resplendent. Now, everyone, if you would be so good as to take your positions on the pentagram.
I wonder
Now,
where Dick comes from, though, for Richard.
I don't know. But like Dick Nixon.
I'm
You
gonna
just
have
got
to
to ask
Google
him
that.
nicely.
Yeah, you just got to ask him nicely.
Mitchell says, Ward, a pentagram has 5 points, but there are only 4 bases. I think
Ooh.
Mitchell has a valid point.
Yeah.
You know? He goes, why do you always test me, Mitchell? Just go stand at shortstop. So he does. Hank goes back to Ward's house. He knocks on the door. Ward's mom comes to the door. She's got a cigarette hanging. She got a little bit of low-cut thing going on here. You can tell she is very much a MILF that she's seen better days.
She loves her
Put
boy.
it that way. Seen better days.
Loves her son a lot.
Oh, boy, does she. She answers the door by first saying, we don't have your cat, which I'm assuming has become a problem, right?
Could become a problem, yeah.
Hank says, I'm looking for my son, Bobby. Is Ward there? He goes, well, his bicycle isn't here, so he must be gone. She looks at him and goes, ooh, you want to come in? And then she goes, whoops, and her shirt pops open to one of the buttons.
Whoa, yeah.
And Hank's just like, ooh. All right, so now
Hank wouldn't know what to do with a set of melons
no,
anyway. Yeah,
no. Now,
he probably.
had she asked
I imagine during sexual activity, he probably doesn't even touch Peggy's breasts.
I would doubt that very seriously. I think they probably stay clothed.
They're very nice.
Yeah.
That's probably all he says.
Those are very nice. Thank you so much.
I am approaching you with romantic intent.
I am approaching. I have written up a statement here.
Yeah.
I would like-
Signed
all
and notarized.
So we're back at the field in kind of a sing-songy voice. Ward says, we humbly come before you to ask for your magnificent strength and wisdom. Hank pulls up and he goes, all right, everybody. And he sees blood in the bowl, or Bobby sees blood in the bowl. He's very worried about it. Then Hank pulls up and he goes, all right, everybody, party's over. And it's the wrong kids. He's in the wrong place. So he goes, oh, sorry, I'm looking for a bunch of warlocks. The main kid there, the main punk or whatever you want to call him, he goes, warlocks? He goes, you know, nerds in capes and stuff. He goes, oh, yeah, we kicked them out about an hour ago. That tall guy geeked hard. I cast a spell on his ass with my foot, which is very much a Hank thing to say.
That is a Hank thing, yeah.
So it's the wrong guys. So we're back to the field, and Ward says, and now in the melding of our joint worlds, our white wizard will ingest the elixir Canana Spiritus. And he hands it to Bobby. They all start chanting, white wizard, white wizard, white wizard.
Why is he the one that's got to drink the dog blood? That's what I'm saying.
Because nobody else wants to do it. That's basically what it comes down to.
You know what it reminds me of is like being the new guy in a group of friends when
Yes.
you're a kid, and
Very
they're
much
like,
so.
"Hey, you got to drink this.
Yep.
You gotta drink this weird concoction of mustard and mayonnaise
Sniff this,
or whatever."
drink that, eat that. You
I
know,
felt
that
like
kind
they
of
were
thing.
messing with him a lot of this episode.
Yes. Lick that frog, whatever.
Show us your
that's the kind of
penis.
thing. Yeah, show us. That's a different group.
Uh,
If Bobby does not want to do this, he's making faces. He's trying to figure out a way to get out of this thing in his head. And he goes, Bobby, now, do it now. He goes, I don't know if I'm ready for this. He goes, every gifted one passes through the bog of doubt. Now do it. He goes, I can't. He goes, you have to. One of the kids says, do it now before the moon wanes. He goes, yes, right, before the moon wanes. He goes, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. It's gross. He goes, then we will have to destroy you. And he snuffs out his candle. And then they all start trying to cast a spell on Bobby. They're saying, Minta Bessa Lorta, Orga, Minta Bessa Lorta.
and then Bobby starts to realize,
Bobby has a moment
these
of clarity.
dudes are a bunch of jackasses.
Yes.
Yeah, he really
There's a moment
quickly
of clarity.
realizes.
And he looks at him, and this is when Hank comes out in him. And he's like, oh, my God. My dad was right about you guys. Under these cool robes and hats, you're all just a bunch of losers. He goes, silence, insolence, accept your fate. And he goes, Fazah, Fazah. And then the guy, the first one, does another one of those flash things in his hand. He goes, Psh. He goes, oh, ow, it burns him. He says, you guys are so nerdy, even I feel like giving you a wedgie, is what Bobby tells them, which is amazing.
Which is good. I love it. Yeah.
His inner Hank's coming out on him.
Yeah,
That's
like
right.
my favorite
That's
part
right.
about this episode is this like interaction with Bobby and these guys.
Ward says, I was wrong about him. He is ungifted and deserves nothing but our censure. Bobby takes the robe off, and he goes, thanks for the robe, fellas. Oh, there's some dragon feathers in the pocket. Help yourself. And he just leaves. And then Ward says to the other guys, well, I guess I was able to make him disappear. Mitchell, how would you like to be a chalice holder? No? Anybody? Well, no reason to brace perfectly good Canis Spiritus. Let's find an overpass. So they're just going to throw it off an overpass, I guess, at cars.
Which if you hit a moving vehicle with an object, it is a felony, whether it's an egg or a rock. The reason I found that out was we were egging at like 2 a.m. when I was a teenager, and I threw an egg out on Valley Mills, and I wasn't looking. And when I threw it out, there was a dumpster, and on the other side of that dumpster was a Waco police officer. Yeah. We ended up making it to Fish Pond and turned left on Fish Pond, and all of a sudden he came screaming up on us and pulled us over and pulled me out of the car. And he said, well, I want all the eggs you have. Well, we didn't give him all the eggs. There was 50 eggs that were covered up, 50 like in the back seat. Man. But I gave him the eggs that I had, and then we drove to Temple and egged in Temple. For whatever reason, we just drove to Temple, egged in Temple, and then
went away from that cop.
Went to IHOP in Temple, and it was when you could still smoke inside of restaurants. Sure. So we thought we were cool. We were like 17, like 16, 17, smoking cigarettes inside of a restaurant at 2 a.m. and nobody was questioning us. But the cop, after he pulled us over, he said, when you're riding down the road, he said, just keep in mind that if I see you throwing an object out of it and it hits a moving vehicle while you're driving down the road, he said that is a felony.
Yeah.
Because we were just throwing eggs out randomly at like stationary objects.
There were a couple kids here that were on the Valley Mills bridge at one time that were throwing like cinder blocks.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That could really kill somebody.
Right?
Yeah, I was just throwing eggs. So I had this enough sense to not throw rocks at cars. It was just an egg.
Bobby is just kind of in the parking lot. He's got his backpack and stuff, and Hank and Redcorn drive up, and he goes, Bobby. He goes, hey, Dad. He goes, are you okay? You didn't drink dog blood, did you? He goes, me drink dog blood? That's not my thing. He goes, well, good for you. He goes, I mean to tell you the truth, those guys are a little pathetic. Can you believe Ward was wearing socks with his sandals? Then he gets into the Jeep. Hank just goes, unbelievable. He goes, Bobby says, I guess we still need to find exactly what my thing is. Hank said, and this is always cool to me how they have this back and forth, you know. Hank says, well, that's okay, son. You still got time. I didn't really find football till high school, and I was in my 20s when I found propane. And they drive off, and it kind of goes up into the sky, and you hear John Redcorn say, what's wrong with wearing socks with sandals? And then we get our credits. That's it.
And that is it.
And then after the credits, we hear, Resplendent. But that was Season 7, Episode 23. This one took a little bit longer this time, guys, but this is the end of Season 7.
End of Season 7.
So here is our plan. This is what we have come up with. On Fridays, we will start reviewing the new episodes because they start next week, correct? And
it'll be different though than what we do right now.
Right,
obviously.
it'll be a very high flying kind of. We saw this. Here's what happened, and we'll talk.
But
about
I think what we'll do, if you're still cool with meeting up here for the premiere,
absolutely.
During the premiere, me and Mike will sit here at the studio and watch the premiere live with you guys. So we won't stream it, obviously, but we will watch it. We will go live probably 15 or 20 minutes before
just kind of talk about it.
That and kind of sit to see if an audience gathers on the live, see if we can get a couple people in there while we're doing it.
We'll put something out that day and say that's what we're going to do. But
we'll probably do TikTok and stuff too. I didn't do TikTok today, but we'll probably do TikTok live as well.
But that's definitely the plan. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been here this entire time. We have had
season
7
seasons.
I also
seasons.
want to thank you very much for coming in today.
Yeah,
it was
you.
wonderful
AJ,
to meet you.
yeah.
Thank you so much for all your support through all these years. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate it a lot. It's good to put a name to a face.
Anytime you want to come back, come back.
Hey, just let me know when.
Yeah. We love doing this show, and we love King of the Hill, but we love our audience more than anything because without you, we would not be able to do this, and we wouldn't do it because there'd be nobody there to have fun with.
And Luke, whenever you hear this, if you still are serious about flying down here to come be on the show, we'd glad to have you.
Anybody who wants to come.
He's actually at the NASCAR race this Sunday where Joey Gaze is driving the King of the Hill car.
Oh, wow.
So they have...
I saw Whataburger's doing a deal with King of the Hill, too.
Whataburger's doing a deal with King of the Hill, which for that, you guys, me and Mike will do a mukbang of the new Whataburger King of the Hill meals where we'll sit here and record our Friday episode and we'll eat.
I just got mukbanged.
We'll eat whatever the special King of the Hill burger ends up being. And also, if I'm able to acquire in between now and 11 p.m. on August the 3rd, if I'm able to acquire a 6-pack of Alamo, I will drink a 6-pack of Alamo.
I will not.
Yeah, Mike won't, but I don't even really like drinking, but I'll drink the 6-pack of Alamo for the content.
My fiance talked to HEB about that. They said they'd get them in 2 weeks.
Oh, well, never mind then, so I'll have to wait
we owe
then.
some guys a 6-pack, too. So,
we do owe some guys a 6-pack. I have their address.
Yeah.
The Drunk Podcast, I think, or whatever. I can't remember the exact name of their podcast, but they review craft beers.
But that is it for today. Thank you so much for being here, folks. We really enjoyed it. This one was well over an hour and a half. So
yeah, it was a long one.
We took a while, but again, Local Wizard, thank you so much
for
wizard. Bringing your wizardry.
With his tarot.
And we will see you guys again next time.
Yep.
And there's one thing left to say, and you can say it.
Wimitanye.
Wimitanye indeed.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.